Hi, and welcome to our Retired Nomad Adventures.
I'm Retired Rick.
And I'm Daphne, and we are a retired couple who's traveling the world 1 month at a time, staying mostly in Airbnbs, using only a carry-on suitcase and a backpack, and we're doing it all for about $5,000 a month. That's our budget anyway, and so that's what we try to stick under. This month we are in Phuket, Thailand. Specifically, we are in Kamala Beach, and we've been here for just about 3 weeks now. And we always do a video where we answer the question, could we live here?
And when we say could we live here, we mean 3 months at a time. That's our criteria. And you can go longer, but for our criteria, it's 3 months at a time.
Yeah, we had originally thought that we might like to find a place where we could live maybe half the year and then be back in the United States half the year. But our travel plans have changed, and so now whenever we go anywhere, we're looking for places that we could return to again and again for about 3 months, go home for 3 months, come back out to another place for 3 months, and so we have an established list of criteria that we go through. Sometimes it's really just the vibe of the place that either resonates with us or doesn't, but we always go through this checklist to see, is this some place that we could live?
Right.
Yeah, okay. So we should start by saying, why did we choose to come to Phuket in the first place? And really, we wanted to come to Thailand, and so we are in Southeast Asia. We started our time here in Chiang Mai, which is sort of more an authentic, true Thai city to be in, and so we were there, and so we really got an authentic experience there. We loved our time.
Loved it. Look at the video. We really loved our time in Chiang Mai.
Yeah, so we loved it there. From here, we are going to go to Bangkok, which we know is a big city in Thailand. It's the capital of Thailand, and so for us in our mind, we're thinking about it like it's like the Los Angeles of California. We don't know, we haven't been, but we know there's going to be a hustle and bustle there. So in the middle, we thought it would be really nice to come to a beach town and really experience that laid-back beach vibe.
And it's been about 5 months in our travels. It's been about 5 months since we were at a beach location.
A true beach town.
A true beach location. So it was nice we thought it would be nice to come to Kamala Beach and see what it's like.
Yeah.
So.
Turns out we really missed being in a beach location. So that's why we chose to come here. We thought it would be nice to have 3 totally different experiences in Thailand. And we've only experienced 2 of the 3 so far, but they have been night and day different.
Yes.
Okay, so we like to take a look at the population, like how big is the place that we're staying in. And so the area of Phuket in total has just under about 500,000 residents. And I would say that's tricky because those are residents who live in Phuket, but there's probably more tourists.
Yeah, there's tourists that come all the time, so it's I mean, living here, yeah.
Yeah. So take that 500,000 with a grain of salt because you also have to factor in all of us who are here invading this beautiful country. Okay, so then the other thing we take a look at is the crime. So what's the crime rate like, and what would you say?
It's like anything else in Thailand here is crime is very low. You always have to be careful of pickpockets and stuff like that. But we haven't seen that at all. It's absolutely the opposite, and feel very safe here, and there's no issue there. Right down from our hotel, there's a police station, and we don't see any police around at all. Like, I saw them having lunch one time, but
well, and there's interestingly, and we don't totally know the reason for this, but there is maybe just for the language barrier, but there are tourist police stations also. So as a tourist, you have a police station that's designated for you, and that's very conveniently located. The police station is, in fact, when you look up the address of the hotel we're staying in, the police station address comes up. That's how close it is. I would say too, we even leave now. Please don't tell us how wrong we are for doing this, because you do have to be mindful of your things. But we go into the ocean. The ocean is so beautiful here. We leave our belongings just underneath our blanket. And so we leave our cell phone, I leave my Kindle, we leave our belongings under the blanket and go into the ocean, and we're not worried about it at all.
And we see that all the time on the beach. People are leaving things. We even went to pick something up, like, oh, someone left it, and we have to remember, oh no, they're probably just, in the, there's a hat there,
So we're gonna bring it up somewhere, and then we have to say, oh no, just leave it here. Yeah, they're coming back for it. So crime, everything here feels very, very safe. Yes. We've gone out on separate occasions on our own, and I feel
very, very safe. But again, you have to always use caution because there's tourists out there.
Well, Actually, while you were saying that, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, really, you need to look out for tourists who are maybe overindulging sometimes.
But you need to be cautious of your surroundings and to be aware of stuff.
Anywhere.
Yeah, like anywhere. I always keep my wallet in my front pocket, and you just want to be mindful. But overall, it's very safe.
Yeah, I feel really safe. Okay, so then the main industry here. So the main industry is tourism and hospitality, and you can. This is a very this is a tourist destination.
Yes.
It's a beach destination. So really, the economy depends on the tourist industry here.
Right.
We're retirees, so in terms of how we would make our money, that doesn't matter for us.
Right.
But if you, but we have said several times how great it would be to start our own, some kind of, all the guys who are taking the jet skis out on the water, who are doing different tours on the water, like how great it would be to have a boat and be able to, have people hop in and take them around. But tourism is definitely the industry. And then the climate here. The weather has been...
Since we've been here almost 3 weeks, and the weather has been absolutely fantastic. It's been in the 80s.
The whole time.
Pretty much the whole time. It might get humid a little bit, but when I say humid, you just thinking, it's a little bit hot, a little bit muggy, but it seems like it goes away. We haven't had that humid weather since we've been here.
We haven't hit it yet. We know in our
here.
travels we're going to get it. But so what they say is that there's a wet and a dry season. So we're here right now in what's considered the dry season. So we came at the end of January. We're here through the beginning mid-February, and November to April is when their dry season is, and they say it's typically between 77 and 89 degrees, and I would say that's accurate for us, and it's definitely beach weather without a lot of humidity.
Right.
And then from May to October is their wet or rainy season. And what they say about that, in my mind, it kind of seems similar to Hawaii in that it sounds like it rains often and it rains heavy, but it's short bursts of time. So typically in the afternoon, you'll get a heavy rain, then it'll go away, but you are going to live with that humidity for the rest of the time. But it's not necessarily cold, but it is definitely wet. They say that May and November are considered shoulder seasons. So if you wanted to save a little money, avoid some of the tourists, those might be good months to come in.
Right.
I would say I would come back here all day long during January and February. The weather has been fabulous. The climate's been wonderful.
Yes.
So if you time it right, I would say that the climate here is ideal for longer term stays.
Right.
Okay. How about walkability? What would you say? Is it walkable here?
Here in Kamala Beach is very walkable. It's if we walk the beach, we go down like the north side, come back up all the way down to the south end, and then come halfway to the north end again, and it's about a 2-mile walk for us. Mm-hmm. And even going into town, it's just a small town. It's 5-minute, 10-minute walk.
Minutes,
so it's no big deal. It's very walkable, flat, and not very hard at all.
And I would say the sidewalks are pretty good here compared to other places we've been. The only thing you really have to look out for is their mopeds do come on the sidewalk, so you have to be mindful of that. But their paths are really clearly designated. Mm-hmm. There's handicap access to go over most bridges, and so not just steps, but they have true handicap ramps. I would say it's very walkable here, and they actually have designated paths for everything.
But if you wanted to go further into the town area or another beach area or something, you're going to have to hire one of the transportation services.
Yeah. So definitely walkable, especially if you're just going to stay at the beach, which is what Rick and I have kind of done. We've hunkered down and just stayed at the beach, and so we just walk everywhere. So speaking of, if you wanted to go to a nearby beach, you could walk to. There is a neighboring beach that you could get to in 20 or 30 minutes if you were walking. But most people will take the little red trucks from one beach to the next, and there's 5 or 6 beaches you could go to pretty close by along the coastline, 20 to 40 minutes from each other. So you could do that. But public transportation is mostly Grabs and motorcycles, the red trucks, and that's it. They talked about tuk-tuks, but I haven't. I haven't
seen a tuk-tuk, and bus transportation hasn't seen it. They said that there is sometimes, but it's really spotty. But we haven't seen one since we've been here.
Yeah. Lots of people rent scooters here, and you can rent a scooter for about $8 a day, so that's not bad at all. The roads here are not as heavily trafficked as some other areas in Thailand, so I would think that renting a scooter would be a really good option.
Well, I don't know what you say about roads, because sometimes scooters are on the sidewalks.
Yes. So public transportation is limited, but definitely accessible.
Yeah.
So for
But
us,
don't count on the major buses and all that. Count on Grabs.
Grabs, yeah. I was gonna say for us, we typically would
Taxi
get a Grab
services.
anyway,
Yeah.
and so and Grab is Thailand's version of Uber, and
Right.
so that's what we would normally do.
Right.
Okay. So proximity. So another thing that we like to look at are the proximity to the airport. We like to be fairly close to an airport because we are going to be traveling. If we're looking at 3 months, we need to come from the airport and get back to the airport, within that 3-month time. So the airport
it's very easy. It's about 15 miles away.
Yeah.
And 15 miles, you think, 15 minutes, but it's if there's no traffic, it's probably a 25-minute drive. With traffic, when we came here, it was about an hour.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we're planning on when we leave, is to give yourself an hour, because we went on a excursion, and it took an hour and 20 minutes to get to the excursion, and the excursion was only
About the same miles as the airport, yeah.
So there's one section inside of town that the street lights are just horrendous.
Well, and
there's
I think
a lot of traffic.
And I think it's just a one-way in, one-way
Yes.
out. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty
seems
sure
like
about that. And wow, that stretch and area you have to use if you're going out of the basic beach area, and it's
very
busy.
traffic.
Yeah.
What's interesting is, even though it's so trafficy, horns aren't honking and people aren't getting mad. It's just
Everybody's
fact
very
of life.
civilized.
They'll say, "Oh yeah, it's really trafficy," but it's really no big deal.
Yeah.
So sit back and enjoy.
So it is close to the airport, although it takes quite a bit of
Yes.
time to get there
Yes.
if you're going during normal business hours.
Yep.
Okay. So then the other thing we like to look at is, what is there to do? What are the things to do here? So
Well, there's plenty of things to do, but we haven't done them all. We've hardly done any. This was a beach destination for us, and we did it just like that. We have done a lot of relaxing, a lot of walking on the beach.
Well, sunbathing, does that count as something?
Sunbathing can count as sunbathing or napping too. You can incorporate the two. So you have dual activities there, but there's other things to do. You have massages. You can rent the longboats to go to another island. You could do jet skiing. You could do parasailing,
Horseback riding,
and this is all the stuff on the beach
that you can
we've
do
seen.
directly
Yeah.
from, right, like you can just walk out onto the beach and do
Right.
any of those things. And our typical day, so typically we get up in the morning, we go down and we walk the beach. So once we're done walking the beach, we come and we lay on the sunbeds and we get a coffee and I usually get a Coke Zero from our little tiki bar, and we sunbathe for a little while. Then we'll go get a massage or do something along those lines, and then go get lunch, take a little nap. Then we have a beautiful sunset dinner. Like, all of the restaurants really line the beach here, so it doesn't matter what price point you want to look at.
Right.
You can have a beautiful beach and have the sunset happen right there in front of you. So yeah, we really embrace the relaxing.
Yeah. The relaxing. So, but there's excursions you can do. You can, our son had got us an excursion. We went over to the
James Bond
Island and other islands and did some kayaking.
If
Just
you want to
typical.
be busier than us, you could be busier
Yes.
than us, and you could go visit the Old Town area. You could go to other beaches. So there is plenty to do, but also know that if you are really looking to relax and recharge, this is the place to
Yes.
do it. This is
Yes.
the place to do it. So nearby destinations, that's another thing we look at. So typically when we're in a place, we want to be able to access other towns less than a couple of hours away. Here, that's not something we've been interested in
No.
doing. We're really happy to be here, but there are all kinds of other beaches that you could take yourself to, and they all have a little bit of a different flair.
And we have not ventured out, so
Yes.
This is really nice for us.
Well, and I will say that one thing we heard over and over again was that coming to Phuket, that it's a very party city. It's heavily destinated, or it's overpopulated.
Tourists.
It's tons of tourists, and we just haven't found that to be the case. Like, we are some of the younger seniors who are here. Mostly it's older people like us or older. There's lots of families, and then there's young couples who are here celebrating maybe a honeymoon or something, but very civilized. There's really not a party atmosphere on this specific beach.
And we've been out past 10
We
and
have.
even 11 o'clock at night. So.
and nothing. And so it's really not a party destination. It's very much a calm, family-friendly
Yeah.
place. The ocean itself even lends itself to that. It's a very calm, the waters are calm, easy to get in and
Right.
out of for families, for kids, for older
Warm,
folks.
Very warm.
Yeah.
You can just float out there, bob out there, and the waves are not knocking you down. They're
No,
very
no.
gentle waves. And then also calm calm and relaxing because of the waves the noise are making, or the noise the waves are making.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's really soothing.
Yeah. So here I would say relaxing, rejuvenating, enjoying
Yes.
all the Thai food. That's really the thing to do here. So speaking of, how about the food scene?
The Thai food is so flavorful here. It's just amazing. And sometimes too much of a good thing is too much sometimes because you're just looking for something else. And then once you get something else, you can't wait to get back to the noodles and the shrimp and the spice. And it's just wonderful food. It's delicious. It's the best Thai food I've had.
Funny that happened in Thailand. Also, there's not a wide variety of food here. So you have to come here. We met a group of people who said they didn't enjoy Thai food, and we kind of laughed because we thought, well, we are in Thailand. But you really do have to like Thai food because 95% of what's going to be available here in the beach area is Thai food. We're thinking when we get to Bangkok, there probably will be a wider variety of food. But here, 95% of what's available is Thai food, and they'll have some offerings. You could get a sandwich and some fries, and they'll be sprinkled in the menu something else, but really delicious Thai food everywhere. And like Rick said, the flavor just bursts. Okay, what else? Healthcare. Okay, so we care about our proximity to hospitals and what's available to us here in terms of healthcare. And this is a small beach town. It's more rural than many other parts of Phuket. But there's lots of medical clinics. In fact, the other day we were walking and we saw something that we think is a hospital. We took a picture of it because we were like, it said hospital, and it was in walking distance from us. Several clinics, lots of pharmacies, and then within 20 to 30 minutes, there are 3 large hospitals. So I don't feel isolated from medical care here at all.
If we needed medical care, we can get it.
Yep. Okay. Cost of living. For us as visitors here, it is very inexpensive. If you compare it to Chiang Mai, the prices are higher, and I'll give one example. So our coffee every day in Chiang Mai was 35 baht, which is about $1. If you take 35 and times it by 3, you're going to be really close to whatever that is. So it's 35 baht, about $1 for a cup of iced coffee in Chiang Mai, and here the iced coffee is 70 baht, right?
70 baht or 80 baht, depending on where you get it from.
Yeah, so you can see things are more expensive, but then if you compare that to the prices back in the States, it's still really inexpensive. So
and another one of the other comparisons that's really easy for me is the large Singa beer in Chiang Mai was 100 baht. And here is the cheapest I found it was 120 at a restaurant, 120 baht up to 150 baht. So that's just a little more expensive. But again, compared to the United States, very cheap.
Yes, so if you were coming here from any Western place, you would be thrilled with the prices. Only that we came directly from Chiang Mai, we noticed that they're higher than they were in other parts of Thailand.
Just slightly higher, yeah.
Okay, so we are staying in a hotel here. We're not staying in an Airbnb, and we're staying for a total of 22 nights, and that cost us $2,100. We're in a beautiful hotel right on the beach. We have a full kitchen here, and it is, I would say, in the best location on the beach. I was going to say, describe whether it was high end or not. I would say this is a motel in terms of the actual rooms and amenities, but the location really elevates it. So it would be a highly sought after place, I would think.
You can't beat the location.
So that's how much something like that would cost during their high season. Now, if you were able to stay for a longer period of time, you could probably rent a place that had 2 bedrooms, maybe not right on the beach, but pretty close to the water, like a mid-range apartment, say with 1 or 2 bedrooms, for about $1,000 a month.
Right.
So big difference if you were able to sign a contract saying you were going to be here for longer. Let's see, meals. So when we go out to a restaurant, if there's the 2 of us and we get 2 entrees and a drink each. So I go back and forth whether or not I have a Diet Coke or a glass of wine, and that impacts whether or not the cost of it. Rick will typically have a Singa beer. So what's the range of our meals?
It's about, with that criteria, it's about $15. When we throw in a glass of wine, it bumps it up closer to $20.
Yeah, and those meals are all full seafood meals.
Yes.
Like Rick gets big dishes of seafood.
Yeah.
Even Rick will there's a spaghetti dish that Rick loves to get, and it's a seafood spaghetti, and there's a lot of seafood in there.
Seafood.
And I typically will get some kind of shrimp curry or some kind of shrimp dish. So that's
Yeah, it's
you can't get upset about that.
That's for two of us. We're spending, let's say, $15, $20 for two of us, and both of us have drinks. So
and you are typically in a beautiful location,
right on the beach.
Yes, on the beach or in the evening with a sunset view, just fabulous. And then drinks, a large beer, you already said, and then a glass of wine at a restaurant will typically cost about $7. And I think I've shared with you before, but I'll say it again, that glass of wine is your choice of red or white. So it's a very basic wine, and that's really all you're going to have available to you unless you go to some really high-end restaurant, which we're really not frequenting. We have, and it has been significantly more, like $16 for a glass of wine. But at most restaurants, you're going to have white or red as an option, and it'll be about $7. Okay, what else? Groceries, we always do eggs, cost about $1.50 here for 10.
Loaf of bread is about $1.50 also. I don't know what else.
That's it. So really, if we just say eggs, because really at the grocery store, all we buy are Diet Coke, and my Diet Coke's about $2.50, and that's for a 2-liter bottle. We buy eggs and we buy bread.
Right.
And that's it.
And this, where we're at here, we haven't really cooked in at all except for breakfast.
Yeah, we eat out every meal. It doesn't make sense to cook. Now, the other thing that we always get is a haircut for Rick, and so you got a haircut. We're going to get a haircut before we leave, but your haircut
$10.
was
$10
with your tip. With your tip? Yeah. So that was fantastic, and she did a wonderful job. Also, we've been getting in Thailand, we have become a bit addicted to the massages. And so massages here are slightly more than they were in Chiang Mai, but even saying that, so in Chiang Mai we could get an hour oil massage with a tip for $10. Here we get an hour oil massage with a tip for $12.
Yeah.
So
for one person.
So. But that's for an hour. What else? That's, a gel manicure, pedicure is $30. I think I shared already a scooter rental is about $8 a day. And then we did go on a 5-island excursion, and the cost for that excursion was $125 a person. So those are some gauges of what the prices are here.
Right.
So very livable, very doable if we were going to stay here for an extended period of time.
Yes.
All right. How about the overall vibe? What would you say? How do you feel here? What do you sense is the vibe here?
I feel comfortable, relaxed. There's a lot of tourists, but when I say a lot, it's just you don't see all the Thai people are helping the tourists.
Yeah.
So, but there's just a lot of tourists, and I feel very comfortable here.
I'd say it's really laid back and serene and
it's an
peaceful.
Older crowd, older
very
crowd.
comfortable.
Yeah.
And beautiful. So we have said several times that we feel like we're operating against a green screen. Everything is so beautiful and it pops so much that you just can't believe that it's real. It feels like you're on a movie set. It feels like it's a backdrop. It cannot be real, but it is.
It is.
Okay, so that's sort of our impressions and the information and the list of criteria that we apply to any destination we go to. So now, here's the question. Could you live here?
Could we live here? I could live here 1 month, no problem, because we've almost done that. 6 weeks, no problem. And I think 2 months, no problem. 3 months, I'm not really sure. You'd have to change a lot of things, make sure you have transportation, and to be able to do other things. But for a beach vibe, this is a fantastic place I would definitely come back to for probably 2 months and be very happy. Could I live here long term, 3 months or a little bit longer? I don't think so.
Too much of a good thing is too much of a good thing?
Yes, but this is a fantastic, calming beach. If you need a time to relax, get caught up on videos or work or whatever you need to do, this is the place to do it. Get caught up on a novel you want to read, this is the place to do it. It is fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, I don't
So
really...
it's kind of, yes, I could live here. No, I couldn't live here for a long term, but yes, I could. So 2 months, yes. 3 months, I don't know. I'd have to change some things and start renting a scooter, and I think it'd be a blast.
So we have been doing this for about 7 months now, and as I said, we go 1 month at a time, so we've, say, been in 7 destinations that we've taken a look at. And only 2 times have we both hands down said yes to a destination, and one was Portimao, Portugal, and the other is Chiang Mai, Thailand. So I'm so torn here because we have been here for 3 weeks and it feels like we are barely coming up on a week. Like the time has gone by so fast. But I'll be really vulnerable and say that I get very frightened and kind of in my head and have recently started to get a little bit of anxiety over sort of natural disasters. So many of you know that in Phuket, about 20 years ago in 2004, there was a big tsunami that's tragic and terrible. And so I do kind of get into my head about the possibility of that happening, and we're staying right beachfront in the best location. We're right in the line where that would happen. And so I think, and I have to play tricks with myself to get myself to be okay with that. And so I think being here for 3 months, I might get in my head too much on the possibilities of something happening. And it may be because we're away from our kids. I don't know why I've gotten so nervous about that, but that would influence my decision. There's also a little bit of a limited accessibility to stores. So for things like I need to color my hair, and you can't buy anything but brown hair color here in the hair stores. And so I think when we get to Bangkok, there'll be more options available. So that would be something, a very small thing that would kind of play on me. But ooh, like there is not a better beach destination. Like I can't think of a place that you could rank higher. This is fabulous, and I agree with you. 2 months, easy breezy. Anything more than 2 months, we would need to cook in a little more. I don't think, again, too much of a good thing. Like getting to eat out all the time is probably too much.
Venture out a little bit.
Yeah. So that is I don't know, like a
it might be a no. Could we live here? No, but it's not really a no.
Should you come here? Yes. Will we come back here?
Yes.
And will we come back here? And are we going to be sad to leave here?
Yes.
So all of those things you should factor into for you if you were looking at. For us, for 3 months, 3 months might be just slightly too much.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, we hope that's helpful as we apply our criteria to a place. Hopefully you could kind of get a sense of what you might think about it also. And we hope that you join us next week. And next week we do our budget wrap up where we look to see if we were able to stay within budget. Typically we have a $5,000 a month budget, but because we're here for 22 days, Rick has prorated this for us. Do you remember what our amount is?
I think it's $3,667.
He thinks.
I think.
60. He's very specific. So next month or next week, we'll break that all down for you and let you know where our costs fell out while we were here and whether or not we met our budget. We hope you'll join us for that. And until then, bye.